Hey, is this thing on? It is. Welcome back, guys, to mini-sode number 12. It's still so crazy to me that I'm even still doing this shit, but I am. So, welcome back, guys, to mini-sode series every single Tuesday here on Double Dose of Raw Talk podcast with your favorite host, Miss T. You guys already know this is a dose for the soul, and this is where I let you guys have a deeper look into my soul. My thinking is atrocious, and I just let you guys in on just a smaller, small dose, a little dose of some shit that's on my mind. I'm present with things. You guys already know this is how I kick this off. And today I wanted to, how do I say this? I wanted to not address. I wanted to pinpoint a little something. And the reason why is because I've been reflecting a lot about just some different connections that I've made throughout the years in this past year, in recent months. And I've just been thinking about, what makes certain connections, certain relationships, whether it be business, professional, personal, family, blood related, right? What makes those things last? Like what makes certain bonds last? And then what makes certain things not last, right? So the reason why I'm thinking about this so much is because, I've just been very reflective on just certain decisions that I've had to make recently in different aspects. I've had to check myself a few times. There's certain areas where I'm very disappointed in myself, but I refuse to be just really hard on myself. I just have to keep recoaching myself, getting refocused, recharging, refueling my soul, my mental, and just like getting my shit together, right? And I just have to keep, being my number one coach on that, number one cheerleader, number one protector. You guys already know all the shit I preach. And I'm the number one person who always has to do this, right? Who always has to, stay on track to what it is that I believe in with myself, hold myself accountable. And in reflecting all of that, especially with accountability, right? I started realizing like, why is it, that certain bonds, certain ties, I like those words better. Certain bonds, certain ties have lasted so long when they've had really no business lasting so long. And then how is it possible that just certain unexpected ones just blossom so beautifully, right? And I realized that a lot of the time, me personally, and I'm sure a lot of people do this, I tend to, with my whole observe everything, take notes, pay attention, I tend to be very observant and catch on majority of the time to red flags that would then tell me, maybe this situation is not right for you. Maybe this person is not right for you. Maybe this colleague, you got to be careful with them. Maybe this just individual, just from maybe a neighbor down the block, watch what you talk with that neighbor, things like that. And I realized that throughout my years, I've been the type to be able to catch red flags, but because I'm that type of person that likes to give a lot of benefit of the doubt, and I hold on to a lot of hope that there is good in people, I tend to do that too. I've become that red flag collector. I've become that red flag collector, and I have not been honest with myself to realize that it's been a bright red color this whole time. With again, different instances, different situations, ties, bonds. That is sounding so not appropriate, but you guys get my point. So, and especially this past week, a few things have just come to light, to realization, and I definitely dig a little deeper into one of those things with more details on this week's episode. Full episode this Thursday. Make sure you come back and tune in. It's just, it's dawned on me that what is it that I have to do to make sure that I don't continue on this cycle. And so as I realized that I've become this red flag collector, I realized what it is with me. I'm laughing because it's not funny, but it is. And I'm holding myself completely accountable on this bullshit. You ever heard the word, the collective, right? Pure definition on it. Collective It's used as an adjective most of the time. It is done by people acting as a group, right? And I am the type that definitely will, majority of the time, give more credibility, more validation to what the collective has to say. I am my own person. I always follow my own opinion and what I have to say, and my thought is my thought. But I do pay attention. Again, with the being observant, taking notes, I do pay attention to what the collective has to say. There has to be some substance in that, right? And so because of that mind frame, that's like probably the majority of my fucking life, I realized that in becoming that red flag collector who has chosen to not even putting all those red flags together, seeing that bright as fuck red color, I've chosen to see like a little, transparency on that red. I have made it a bad habit to collect all these little red flags, right? And just wait until the collective of these red flags make that decision for me of something, of someone, of anything, of anybody, just not being any good for my situation, not being any good for my momentum, for what's going on at any given moment, at any given instance. And I kind of want to, commit myself and continue to hold myself accountable on this. And I hope that you guys, could possibly just sit there and reflect a little bit and ask yourself, are you that type of person? Like, am I like Miss D? Like, am I like Daisy? Am I the type that sits here because I am such good-hearted, because I do try and find the good in people, or I hold on to so much hope in so many bonds and ties, and just sometimes you even hold so much respect to what once was. Ooh, I almost got tongue tied on that one. You tend to collect these little red flags. You tend to just make them a little bit transparent to make that red a little lighter. And you don't make a decision until the collective makes it for you. In some instances, those red flags for some people will actually be what we call signs from God, or just signs from the universe. And even with signs, a lot of the time it's like we take these mental notes. Hey, I'm guilty. I'm the one that's constantly saying, observe, pay attention, take notes. But at what point do I not stop taking those notes? At what point do my eyes not get tired of just being fucking observant? At what point doesn't my mind not get exhausted of just paying attention and making all these mental notes and being able to register all that's going on in front of me? And at what point do I not recheck myself and being protective of my energy, my space, my time, my being, my wellness, my heart, my mind? Realize that it's time to make a decision. It's time to face the fact that certain instances, certain people, certain things just don't belong there. It just doesn't belong within my circle. It just doesn't belong within my, is it the radius? Yeah, it's the radius. Forgive me, I'm not that great in math. But at what point do I not realize that? At what point do I not start seeing the signs for what they are and taking them for what they are? Why do I have to have a whole dozen red flags to make a fucking decision? Why? They're not red roses. Like, why do I have to do that? Why do I have to do that to myself? Why does anybody have to do that to themselves? I want to commit myself to making sure I check myself on that. I want to make sure that I am not just being that observant person and who preaches that of people, right? And the whole taking notes and whatnot. I want to make sure that we're actually doing something about it. I want to make sure that I'm actually doing something about it so that I can maintain my sanity, so that I'm not just here collecting all these notes mentally for no reason, or collecting flags, red ones, or collecting those signs from God. We're constantly saying, God, please send me a sign. Universe, please just send me a sign. Or, like I did a few episodes ago, I just had spirit send me a whole bunch of messages. To just sit here and collect them, it does nothing. It's not conducive for what your true purpose is. If what you're doing is collecting them just for the fucks of it, to just wait till the collective makes that decision for you, well, then you're still wasting energy. You're not protecting your energy or your space or your mindset. Can you really live like that? I really just had to seriously sit here and reassess my mental, reassess my mindset, and just everything, like I said, that's happened in this past week. I've been calling them revelations because I just don't know what else to fucking call them. And it's continued. The revelations have continued. You can't just take those for granted at all. You got to be able to embrace them. And instead of just sitting here and collecting those red flags and collecting those signs from God or signs from the universe, right? Until you just hit that breaking point where you just can't hold on to none of them, right? Because they're falling off your arms. They're falling off your hands. I do want to, like I said, commit and hold myself accountable to actually doing something about it. And that when I'm being vigilant to all this shit that's in front of me, right? Because the wellness piece of it all, me trying to live a healthier life for me trying to live a more sane life for myself, it is to have to like cut the bullshit out and hold myself accountable to not constantly tolerate shit or to not constantly take shit or to not constantly be like, oh, but that person means well. Oh, that wasn't the situation. No, maybe they meant it like this. No, maybe it was supposed to be like this. Like, no, we can't turn a blind eye to a red flag. We shouldn't. I'm not saying let's just jump the gun and make certain decisions out of impulse. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying if I'm going to sit here and tell everybody, be observant, take notes, pay attention, that doesn't just mean that you just sit here and you pay attention to all of it and you just sit there and collect them until the collective makes that decision for you. That's not what you do. And so I clearly just had to get that shit off my chest. That has been mini-sode number 12. Thank you guys, as always, for tuning in to hear me talk my shit on the Those Abroad Talk podcast. You guys already know. I will talk to you later. Bye.